You want to like touch a mom's heart, just allow the kids to experience the benefits because it's like when a mom watches her daughter going from suffering pretty much every winter to having the freedom to live a happy, healthy childhood, it's like I'm all in.
Welcome. This is the place where we focus on what's working and where we bring real stories of real people experiencing success from all over the world. I'm your host, Andy Goddard. My wife and I have been helping people create financial freedom with doTERRA for the past 17 years, almost from the beginning. So at the heart of everything we do here, we're all about a healer in every home. The products, the mission, the business have changed our lives. And so we have created this space to just come together and connect and share inspiring stories.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Quinn Curtis. I have a global doTERRA team, and I also am just a big business marketing, branding strategist of many, many years. And so I'm excited to offer some of that kind of support to you guys today in our Q&A section in a bit too. I'm loving, I don't know if you've been listening to these past episodes or watching or joining us live, but these are really potent, powerful interviews. And I've personally been getting a ton out of them. And I know that my team has as well. So I'm excited to get to be in the action today and to get to talk to all of you and connect with you, answer any questions you might have, and especially talk to our special guest. Lauren, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so excited to have you here. Tell us a little background information on where you're from and what brought you to doTERRA.
So I'm from Northern Pennsylvania and I homeschool my 3 kids. We live very much in the rural woods. So my community is small, but I do have ties of the southern part of the state too. That really helps my business too. I would say my top passion is my family. And I have walked through some really tough health struggles that I've learned a lot through it. So when I was looking at doTERRA, I actually was not at all a believer of the oils. It's not that I was against them. I just didn't really understand them. And so it wasn't something that I personally would be grabbing for. But my friend Sherry Hamlin, she was like, okay, but take a look at these supplements. And when I read the ingredients, I was like, oh, okay. So, and I'm just like so thrilled to say that my health has improved even just so much. And my family's health has improved so much now that we are using the supplements and now that I'm learning about the oils and incorporating them into my home too. So it's been such a gift.
Well, Lauren, that's incredible. And I want to dive in deeper to that because doTERRA has a lot of great supplements. What
Mhm.
specifically have been the game changers for you guys? Like what opened that door for you?
So foundational wellness has been a game changer for us. I now understand that with the essential oils in foundational wellness that you get to that cellular level of healing, and that's what I was missing before. I used to spend so much money on supplements every month and they were helpful, but there was still these things that I just could not get to. My hormones were, I'm like perimenopause age, so my hormones were a wreck, and it just I also struggled a lot with POTS symptoms. So, like when I'd stand up, I'd get real dizzy, and it was a whole thing. And I dealt with that daily. And foundational wellness, I've been on it since I started. So, I think about 9-ish months. And I remember like the first time that I was in a very difficult stage of my hormonal cycle. And I realized I was out on a 5-mile walk that day. And normally I would have been like, my legs would be achy. I would be on the couch. And I was just like, I mean, that's the only thing I changed. So, and I'm spending less money on doTERRA's functional wellness or foundational wellness than I was with all the other supplements that I was taking. So it's replaced everything that I was using before.
Wow, that's incredible. And so then that got you excited about essential oils and opened that door.
Yes,
So,
exactly. Yes,
yes.
and Simpson, you have the cells actually. Sherry introduced me to that. And when she was like she came here to help me launch. She flew from Colorado to here to help me launch, which was amazing. But she did Symphony of the Cells on me and she helped me do it to my kids. And I was just kind of like, oh, cool. Like, I don't really know what's happening, but It seems like a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
And but that she yeah, she told me like anytime so my daughter struggles with respiratory things. When she was 2 weeks old, we almost lost her to RSV. And ever since that, it's like anytime she gets anything, we're in the ER. Sometimes we're thinking about, do we need to admit her? And this is going to make me emotional. We have not. The first time in a long time, we have not been in the hospital at all this winter with her. So, right there, it's like, okay, I want to hear all about this now? So, just such a gift. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Lauren, that's so humbling to hear and
Yeah.
incredible.
Mhm.
Goodness, I just don't think I think like even though this is a business call,
Yeah.
these kinds of stories are
Yeah.
what anchor us and like
Mhm.
help us. I mean, I think we just easily lose sight of this sometimes when
Yeah.
we get really focused on growing the business. But
Mhm.
these life-changing benefits, like your life has gotten so much better, your daughter's life, like
Yeah.
goodness.
Mhm. Yeah, you wanna, like, touch a mom's heart, like, just allow the kids to experience the benefits because it's like when a mom watches her daughter going from suffering pretty much every winter to, having the freedom to live a happy, healthy childhood, it's like, I'm all in? So,
Okay.
yeah.
That's incredible. So then for those who don't know about Symphony of the Cells, it's such a cool protocol, but could you give everybody a little bit more juicy information about that?
Yeah. So I'll give what I understand, which I'm still learning, but it's essentially like an order of specific oils, depending on what you're dealing with, that you put on the spine. You also like inhale it, and then sometimes he'll have you do it around the neck too, and then you usually put it on the feet as well. And so oftentimes with our situation, like I'm doing the infectious disease one initially, and then if it progresses to the respiratory, I'll do the respiratory one. So it depends like what you're dealing with. I mean, my oldest, he plays football, high school varsity football, so it's intense. He had a separated shoulder this past fall, and we were doing the musculoskeletal one for him. So it doesn't really matter what you're dealing with. Like there's something for every situation. So it's pretty cool.
It's really cool. I found it to be very user friendly as well,
Yes.
as
Yeah.
far as you just can find the book online and you
Yeah.
just open the book and follow the steps. So
Yes. It makes it easy for beginners, even like me. Yeah.
I love this. So how long, like, have you been on your doTERRA journey? I hear you recently had a rank promotion as well, which is exciting.
Yeah. I had so I'm at Premiere. So yeah, I'm still like as far as the business, I'm still realizing the potential there. I haven't, probably Sherry keeps telling me, I think you're in the hardest spot where like you're still working really, really hard. But I'll be honest, it's just such a beautiful gift to be able to offer other people too. So I found for myself that just continuing to share with other people the hope that they can have in their health journey. It's just so rewarding. And yeah, so I can't not share that. So yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like you've probably leveraged your story a lot in sharing.
Mhm,
And what else? We're always looking for what's really working right now of helping people to open them up to the oils and the supplements even. So
mhm.
what's kind of been your strategy or how have you been sharing?
Yeah. So there's a couple different avenues that I've been using. My team does focus classes every month. So this month we're focusing on lymphatic drainage. And there was a pain class earlier, it might have been beginning of this month. Um, and so I'm always like offering that to my customers and their guests. And also I think my favorite avenue is the health scans. So I use Vicera. I know I forget what the hand cradle one. Oh, the Zyto
Right now,
scans.
yeah.
Yeah. For me, living very rurally, I don't have a lot of people around me. We have more deer than people, so uh, can't scan the deer. Uh, but I have a lot of connections online, and from where I moved from. So, um, yeah, the Vicera link has been just such a gift for me. And it does require, you need to like, for me, I look for patterns in the different systems. So it shows like areas that the body's paying attention to essentially. And sometimes like for Vicera, it's very sensitive. So like you could what I always tell my customers is you could walk some by somebody who has perfume on in the grocery store and that's gonna like something will show up with that. It's just very, very sensitive. So what I look for is like patterns in the different systems. Like, okay, this is something the body is like struggling with in multiple areas. And
Mm.
then the Vicera Link will recommend some things. I also use my brain, like, okay, if this is what they're dealing with, I know foundational wellness will help them with this. Um, and then I just offer them solutions. Um, and I always share with them that I support wherever they're at, but I do know what it's like to feel hopeless in your health journey. So I do want to offer them solutions that I know will work and are whole food and herbs and essential oils. So they're actually going to be helpful instead of hinder their body's healing. And I've just found a lot of my customers continue to come back and trust me through that process. And I even will do like, we'll say we'll start foundational wellness. In 30 days, we do a rescan to see where they're at with things. I just had a call yesterday where the first time I scanned her before she started foundational wellness, her liver was really struggling. Like it was, I didn't alarm her, but I was like, wow, that's not good. Um, and I do know her. I know she has some health issues. And she we rescanned her and her liver was happy. She was saying her energy was better. Her hormones were better. Her digestion was better. It was like so many things. And only a month in, she still had some things that the body is still figuring out. But it was just encouragement for her to keep going. Like this is actually working and it's not just in your head that you're feeling better. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Gosh, well, I'm sure a lot of people listening are really excited because this is the fun part about helping people with
Yeah.
doTERRA is when you get to
Mhm.
know what's going on and you can connect them with solutions. I'm
Mhm.
curious if you could speak a little bit more to how you even get to that spot with some of these people. I'm
Mhm.
assuming family and friends, but how do you
Mhm.
kind of open that door and get them curious and even open to trying and giving a scan?
Yeah. So I offer it in several different ways. I offer it via text. So previous to doTERRA, I was in another direct sales business.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I still have a lot of connections from that. So I offer it to them, to previous customers and stuff too. I also offer it on social media and I'll share, like, I won't say names, but I'll say, like, the things that I'm seeing with my customers. I'll share their story with while protecting their privacy. And I'll share my own and I'll share my kids. And, on social media and really any avenue, stories are what impact people's hearts. And, facts are great. We need those too. But in my experience, most times the way you're actually going to get somebody to turn their head is by sharing what's working. And so sharing that experience, whether it be mine or a customer's anonymously, that is a really great way to share.
Mm. Oh, I love that. So even like when you're texting people out of, because I think the social media, that totally makes so much sense.
Mhm,
And when you're reaching out to people you maybe haven't talked to in a little while, are you
mhm.
warming like the relationship up a little bit before you're inviting them to do that? I mean, these are the details that keep people stuck and
Yeah.
keep us
Mhm.
feeling like we're too afraid to share and what will
Yeah.
they say and what will people
Mhm.
think? So how have you
Yeah.
overcome that or what's been some of your ways through?
Yeah. So as far as like my previous customers, when I'm texting them, I have maintained a relationship with them.
Okay.
So it's not abnormal for me to be like, hey, this is an offer. I'd love to share it with you if you're interested. Um, so they know that I share the things that I love. And even on social media, I don't just share doTERRA. I think it's really important to be a human and to share different facets of yourself. And on my social media pages, like if you would look up my Facebook page, you see I do almost like a daily devotional for spiritual encouragement. And because that for me, like that's top priority. I don't think anything is well if you're not spiritually well. But I'm offering that to love on them. And then I'm also offering, physical health opportunity as well. And I'll share, funny stories like with my kids or a lot of times in my stories, I will be sharing, I do like almost every day, I'll do like a foundational wellness, me taking my foundational wellness. And I'll usually put like some wording in there just of like whatever I'm thinking that day. Sometimes it'll be like spiritual encouragement. Sometimes it'll be encouragement to give your body what it needs. And sometimes it'll just be random. Like I'm also a basketball coach. So it's like game day today, like just
Yeah.
whatever's happening in my life. And then, just putting it in front of their face that I am taking care of myself and it's a priority and that there is hope for their health as well.
Gosh, a couple of things I want to pull out. You said so many good and valuable things there, but I want to pull out especially how you said they just know that I share things I love.
Hmm.
This is, I think, a crucial aspect of having the courage to share and comfortably sharing with other people is building up that type of rapport.
Yeah.
And also, the rapport was the other thing I wanted to pull out where you said you've been nurturing these relationships for a long time. I think it's very easy for a lot of doTERRA business builders to look around and say, I haven't found any builders. And they're
Mhm.
just like
Yeah.
fixated instead of, well,
Mhm.
behind every builder, like yourself, even, your story is a great example. You
Yeah.
didn't know what the oils were about. You didn't really believe in them at all, but somebody cared enough to share the supplements with you. And that ended up improving your health and opening, or your health opened the door for everything else. I mean, you just never know. I think that it's easy for us to discount. We think that, we've just got to go find the builders out there, but builders are real people who have had transformational experiences with their doTERRA products.
Mhm. Right. Yeah.
And a lot of times, what fires up a good business building momentum is that they keep having great experiences and then they get the joy of sharing with others, like what you're describing as well.
Yeah. And just, I understand the whole like having trouble finding builders. Like I'm Premier. I don't have all these builders, right?
Right. Yeah.
But just as encouragement, Sherry Hamlin shared, I bought oils from her like probably a year before I was ready to sign up. And actually the oils like didn't do what I wanted them to do in that situation. I was looking for like earache relief. And now I understand like why it didn't work. I won't go into all of it, but I think we just needed to shift the oils a little bit. Um, but Sherry did as she did great with the information I shared with her. So, but it didn't work. And so I was like,
Mm.
okay, whatever. And then, but just because she's just very personable. And so she stayed connected. We talked about like life things too. Um, and throughout that time, we just stayed connected relationally. And then my previous direct sales business closed their doors like just randomly one day on payday. And yeah. And she was like, I got all these messages where it's like, Lauren, you should do this, you should do this. And I'm like, no, I can't hear from any of this right now. And Sherry's response to me was, I am praying for you. I'm so sorry. And I was like, she's the only one I can hear from right now. Like, I knew that I needed somebody I can trust. And while I didn't have this amazing experience with the oils, she was like, Lauren, that's okay. Look at these supplements, and this was after I showed interest. Um, and so, you just meet people where they're at. And there will be many times where people are not ready yet. And we just honor that and be patient. I tell myself this all the time. Sherry tells me this all the time. I need to be reminded too. So, but they're not going to be ready till they're ready. But in the meantime, you can honor them, and who knows what doors may open. And worst case scenario, you honored them as a human being and you left them better than you found them, right? So that's kind of where I try to live, is like, I don't get to control the outcome. I do get to control how I love on this person, and whether or not God brings them to my team or not is his choice. But I want to be faithful in honoring other people. And in this world, guys, that is like, people are surprised by that.
Yeah.
So if you honor people well and they are sometime at a place where they're ready, you're going to be the one that they think of, and that's not why we honor them. I
Right.
want to, I want to choose who I want to be. I want to be proud of the way I treat people, um, and I want to honor the Lord. And so that's why I do it. But there is this side benefit of like, you're going to be the person they think of because you honored them.
Mm.
So.
Oh my gosh, I just am loving everything you're sharing so much, Lauren, and it's making me think about really the example that Andy and Natalie Goddard have been
Mhm.
showing us all along as well, of like, just
100%.
show up to serve people and care about them genuinely,
Mhm.
and the rest works itself out. The rink, the
Mhm.
financial means, like it
Yeah.
really will work. And I know from having done this business for over 10 years now, maybe longer.
Mhm.
And all the different builders and customers and everybody I've seen over the years, like, this is the distinguishing factor. The people who
Yes.
show up to
Mhm.
care about those that they
Mhm.
share oils with and
Yes.
keep caring about them,
Mhm.
regardless of if they become a builder or if they keep
Mhm.
buying. Like,
Mhm.
those are the people whose volume maintains the most sustainability,
Mhm.
and who have the greatest retention overall. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a secret benefit, right? And it's like, if you
Mhm.
focus on the retention and you focus on the business building, sometimes that becomes so distracting that it can actually ruin your business,
Mhm.
versus just getting out there and, who can I serve today? Who can I lift today? Who's struggling that I can be there for today?
Mhm. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
So you grew in another business as well. Have you been
Yeah.
bringing over any strategies and principles from that you've found helpful?
Yeah. So the company I was with before was also health and wellness. And so they taught me they were excellent with social selling. It was more like a link sharing business, which I love how doTERRA and how, I mean, Natalie and Andy have showed all of us. And so it's filtered down to me to how to value people better than just sending them a link. But as far as social selling, they did really teach us a lot. And what I especially learned is that engaging in conversations online that don't necessarily, it's not like, hey, come join my team, or I'm selling foundational wellness. Do you want to buy it? It's like meeting people on a personal level and encouraging them and loving on them. That's how you gain people's trust. And then that, only after that, most people are going to be, they're only going to be open to it after they've learned that they can trust you. And then sharing like your personal in your stories. Like, I try to be very active in my stories, sharing personal things, life things, um, and also sharing doTERRA. So it's kind of like a trickle in there kind of thing. So I'm not just like a commercial.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I learned a lot through that. I also learned that when people engage in your stories, like whether they put a heart, or even in your like if you make a post, if they react in some way, um, there's some level of interest there. And sometimes it's just like they're super supportive of you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, I don't necessarily have the courage to reach out to you, but this is interesting. So just having conversation with people, and again, very human conversation, um, is really how you connect and eventually open doors.
I love these tips. I want to point out two things too with what you're saying. First of all, a lot of people, when they get going with doTERRA, they start building a business. There's this pressure they feel inside to look like the expert, and or to look like, if they're being active on social media or even hosting people, that they've got it all figured out. Like
Mhm.
there's the pressure of, no, now all my health problems are completely solved because of doTERRA versus like, no, we still get sick too, and we still
Right.
have things come up.
Yeah.
So I love how you're bringing in like, I'm a whole person, and
Mhm.
this thing that I've really hit on over the years and need reminding myself sometimes too is really that it's about sharing the practice. You're in the daily practice
Mhm.
of
Mhm.
leveraging natural solutions
Mhm.
rather than your whole life has been healed from natural
Yeah.
solutions,
Yeah.
which is a
Right.
more believable story, by the way, when you're
Yeah. Yeah.
living the practice. So how's that
Mhm.
worked for you, or how have you seen that, your reaction?
Yeah. Yeah. So even like my daughter Ainsley had, since I started doTERRA, I think she's had probably like at least 5 respiratory viruses. It's not that we are out and like we're homeschooled, but listen, we have social things every single day. So we're out in public. And so she catches things too. And so like I'll show a picture, um, a picture of me doing Symphony of the Cells on her. Now, usually it's like the blankets over her, it's like her little feet, and I have the oils like um lined up on my bed, and I'll just, share in that way. And then like I've done lives before talking about Symphony of the Cells and how it's been such a blessing. And since we started it, we haven't gone to the hospital with her. And again, I'm not saying like that's not even possible now, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna praise the Lord for this gift and shout it from the rooftops because I know how scary it is when your daughter can't breathe. And I didn't know that this solution was out there, um, and I didn't know that it worked. So just, sharing that. Also, like I have shared with my POTS symptoms that, that's not something I wanted to be known for. Like I didn't like to share because I didn't want that to be what people thought of when they looked at me. And then I started like the recharge and foundational wellness, and like, I'm not saying I never, and I'm honest about that. Like, I'm not saying it never creeps up, but it is
Mhm.
rare now. So, to go from daily struggling with that multiple times a day to like here and there is like, I'll take it. And also, like, sorry. Okay. I got to,
Oh, oh no, we lost her. She'll be back. I'll watch for her. In the meantime, looks like you guys have some great comments in the chat. Please let us know if you have questions also for Lauren. We're going to be wrapping up the interview here in a little bit, and I want to make sure that your questions are answered. I'll also be leaving some time if you want to talk some marketing strategies. Maybe we'll even see if Lauren can stay on and talk through that with us as well. If you're trying to grow and share using social media, we'd love to talk to you about it. And yay, here's Lauren back. Hi, gorgeous.
hi, I am so sorry.
No worries.
Not sure what was going on there, but,
No, we actually
um,
got a specific question from Becky in the
yeah,
chat
let's,
about how Foundational Wellness Kit has helped with POTS and what you're working with. So yeah, keep going.
yeah. Um, so I know how the recharge works. Is it actually like you need as a somebody who struggles with POTS? So when I stand up, I get real dizzy, I get like vertigo. I know that the recharge, it gives the body the minerals that it needs, so it kind of helps elevate my blood pressure, which is what I actually need. I'm not saying that it'll do that. Like it's not going to be a negative elevating the blood pressure if you don't need that, but I need the blood volume. And so I know how that helps. I'll be real honest with foundational wellness. The only thing that I can think of that, because I'm not like a scientist, but what I understand is that these essential oils being combined with the supplements gives a cellular level of healing. And I was seeing a functional medicine doctor. I was doing all the things, taking really expensive supplements. They did not have our essential oils in them. And so that's the difference in my mind because I know the ingredients in the supplements I was taking before were phenomenal, but they didn't have our essential oils in it. And so that's where I think the difference is I'm getting like a cellular level of healing, and that takes time. And I always tell my customers that, like, I think I was 4 months in before I like, and maybe even recognized what a shift that I'm seeing. So it takes time, but I'll even share. I'm not like one to like take my gym photos and stuff, but I've started to actually like share like every morning in the early morning I go to our local Y and I work out. I lift, I play basketball with my kids. I beat them sometimes. My high school boys, I'm like, I will put it on social media when I beat them.
Amen.
But like just even 6 to 8 months ago, I wouldn't have been able to do that because my body would freak out. Like I could do nothing but walk prior. There's something with POTS that if you overuse your body, like it freaks out. For me, I started with vertigo. I'd have intense like aching, like not normal aching. And then my energy would just be, it would plummet. And so um I am able to like do so much more. And that's the thing is like this is so much deeper than like, oh, I can do these fun things. I'm making memories with my kids. I'm healthier than I was. I am like able to live out my calling in a much more impactful way. This past winter, I coached a varsity girls basketball team for the first time. And prior to that, my nervous system wouldn't have been able to handle that. There's just so much that like I think we can easily forget that when you're offering, I know that it's hard to hear a no. I get it. That's their choice. It's totally fine. But if you don't offer, they're not going to know. And then, you're essentially making the choice for them that they'd like to stay in these spots with their health that nobody wants to stay in. And so many people don't talk about it. They don't talk about their health stuff because just like me, I didn't want to be known for it. So you just never know who needs it. And I just encourage you that like when you're sharing, it's not about you. Like we're big girls, we're big boys. We can handle if it's not for them. It's okay. Like totally support you wherever you're at. But know that it's here if you ever need it. Um, and there's a lot of people that are looking for solutions so that they can live more fully in their calling. So
Amen. And everybody's health is changing all the time. So
all the
even
time. Yeah.
people that you
Yes.
thought had nothing wrong or they maybe
Mhm.
turned you down in the past.
Yep. Yeah. And that's why stay active on social media because I want to be the one that they can like, oh yeah, I know Lauren might know something about this or she might be able to help. Um so yeah, I think just showing up and staying a consistent presence so that when they're ready, they know who to go to.
Gosh, you know what I love so much about your story and what you're sharing too, Lauren? I mean, this is making and maybe not making an assumption. I like putting words in my mouth. Um, but a lot of people are really timid to share online at all
Mhm.
because they think they need to have like some massive following in order to make an impact.
Yeah.
And the truth is that you can actually often reach more people. In fact, even businesses are paying micro influencers, people who
Yes.
have, less than
Yeah.
10,000 followers. They
Yeah.
want them talking about their products, not these big, massive
Yeah.
influencers. And
And
so,
people don't trust influencers. They trust
no,
you. Like you have a actual influence in their life, not these random people that they're getting paid, which we
Mhm.
are too, but we
Yeah.
actually we have their trust. We're sharing personal experiences that they know are legit because it's not like we're going to make them up. You don't know that about these influencers. You have no idea because you don't know them.
No. And so the impact that you've kept showing your story, you've kept showing up to serve people and to nurture those relationships. And then you're still just so focused on how can I make an impact in people's health, I think is really a testament. Like, I know when we talk to you in a year or two and you're at these massive ranks in doTERRA, it will still be because of those things.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So inspiring. Well, I wondered too if you could speak to just like what got you excited about the business model with doTERRA specifically, and like what even I think it's always interesting to hear what aspects of the comp plan excited you because or even how you like obviously your company closed, so you were kind of looking, but what
Mhm.
opened that up? You're a busy mom. Like,
Mhm.
how did that happen?
Well, if Sherry was on here, she would be laughing right now because I am like not a numbers person. I'm not a details person. I'll just be completely honest. Like there were things, and I'll share that too, but I trusted Sherry. That's like the biggest
Wow.
reason why I was like, I need to look here. I know that she is honest. I know that she's trustworthy. And so I need to look here. And so like when these random people that I barely knew were telling me to look at whatever, I was just like, no. So
Mm.
share about your business also. And very honestly,
Mm.
sharing products comes very easily to me. I have to really dig deep to share the business. And I'm not sure why that is. It's probably like I just need to get more comfortable. Like I think the more you do it, your confidence grows, and really action is what builds confidence. So we have to do those things. But one thing I loved about the comp plan when we were looking at it is that in your organization, it's not just um, advocates that count towards your organizational points. It's customers too, and that's not normal. That's pretty
Mm.
incredible. And I also just loved that you can kind of like, and this part is hard for me too, still because I'm still grasping things, but you can move people where is most beneficial. That's also not normal. So, I mean, I shouldn't say it's not normal. It's not what I experienced. And that is very, very helpful. So, the other thing that I love is that, when you have a leader, and we experienced this on this team, when you have a leader that continues to walk you through it, you're not left trying to figure it out on your own. So, I do feel like this comp plan is more, there's more facets to it. So, there's more to understand than what I've experienced in the past. But it's all for our benefit. And so, um, to have a leader that's patient and walking you through that is pretty great.
Oh, yeah.
Mm,
Ah,
yeah.
that's incredible. Just in kind of wrapping everything up, I have one more big question, which
Mhm.
is your time balance. How are you managing? You're homeschooling all your kids, you're coaching basketball, exercising, you're very active on social media. Like what's kind of your philosophy there, or what things have been really helpful to balance all this?
I know I keep
Balance is a
saying this.
funny word, by the way,
Yeah.
so don't feel pressure to be like, I have balance figured out.
I know that like I feel like a broken record, but honestly, I would not have been able to carry all this the way my health was before I found foundational wellness. Um, so that has been huge. I feel like I've been able to carry more because I am healthier. Um, but also as far as like time balance, my kids, my kids are 15, 14, and almost 11. And so, I don't have toddlers, and you can absolutely I did direct sales when I had toddlers. It was during nap time that I worked, okay?
Mm.
Nap time, or they had quiet time if they weren't napping anymore. But, since my kids are older, I can come down. Before I came down here, guys, I have a call. They know that I work, and they do the parts of their school that they can without me. My boys can pretty much handle. Sometimes my middle needs help with math, but my daughter always needs help. So I just have her wait, and she can do her chores in the meantime. We like when I started homeschooling my kids, we agreed because they wanted to do it. We agreed that it is a whole family, all hands on deck. It teaches them responsibility to have chores. They help out at home. They help each other out with school sometimes. My oldest is like a math whiz. So sometimes he'll help his younger brother with math, even if I'm available. Sometimes he does because I don't always know. Um, and so just allow like, if you're in a situation like mine, allow your kids to have some responsibility. It takes a little bit off of you. My husband is very supportive. So, like, he'll help out if I have a call or like in the evenings. Um, so yeah, it becomes like you unify as a family, and you all pitch in. And so that's how I am able to do it. Um, and there's just an understanding that, I also work. And the beauty with doTERRA is that it's not a like my other option, right, would be to do like a 9 to 5, and then I'm away from them way more. And probably wouldn't be getting paid as much either. So, I just think that uh perspective is good. Yes, I need to take an hour or two away, but that's way better than 8 hours a day. And they can pitch in during that time. So
Gosh, so many good nuggets in there. I love how your answer isn't, I just took it all on and I just do everything right. And I wake up at 4 a.m. And yeah, it's like you've created something that's sustainable and that your family, like in some ways, even they're not even letting, but just supporting of you carving out that time and everybody understanding, yeah, mom works too,
yeah.
like is such a beautiful way that I've seen leaders in the past and business builders in the past really struggle with claiming that time and instead letting the family dynamics push around their time until they have nothing left to give to their business.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work either. So
Yeah. Something I do also is on my Google Calendar, I'll put in like events, like work on such and such, or, like if I have a call, I put that in my calendar. It's an appointment. And so, we make time for appointments when it involves other people. So a call involves other people, but I make an appointment for the time that I'm going to work so that it's in my mind, okay, it's scheduled. Here we go. Like, this is what I'm doing at this time. And that doesn't mean I can't be flexible. There are times where, like,
yeah.
somebody hurts themselves or somebody's having a rough day and I need to be there for that. And my family is my top priority. And the beauty of doTERRA is that I can be flexible. However, if it's not something that I absolutely need to be there, I can also ask them to wait a little bit, hey, I'll have time for you in like 1 hour. Can you wait just an hour? And let them know it's important. Like, I totally hear you. That's important to me too. I want to make sure that I'm focused on that. Can that wait? But prioritize your time because otherwise all the different things will take over.
Yep. And then no goals are happening and people are out there in your world that are struggling and you won't be able to help them. So,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
goodness. Well, this has been so good. We're getting so many great comments of people just being so grateful for you showing up today and sharing your story. Is there anything else that you wish we would have talked about or just that you want to leave everybody with about your story or your experience with doTERRA and building doTERRA?
Sure. Just one last thing, like, I think it is very human to think that things should be going faster. And I just want to be real honest that I feel that way too. I'm impatient with the growth. But what keeps me here is in that time of growth where we're waiting, we have to be patient. In that time, I am changing lives, like changing health stories. No other business that I've been in before has this kind of impact. And so I just encourage you to be patient and, don't let the feelings of like rushing or wishing you were further down the road stop you from what you have to give. Because you'll get there. It might not be in the timing that you want, but in the meantime, you are building something really beautiful that has a much deeper impact than really anywhere else you could go. So,
Mm. Such a powerful message. And it's reminding me of this is kind of a continuing theme from the past couple weeks of this show is that or this podcast is consistency wins every time.
mhm. Yeah.
So I just love everything you've shared, Lauren. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for giving
Yeah.
us some of your precious time and reminding us of what matters most. I'm so grateful.
Well, thank you. It was my honor. Thanks for
Aw,
having
yeah,
me.
absolutely. We're going to shift now, and you're welcome to hang on if you'd like, but we're going to shift now to talking through some of your questions and any mentoring and support we could give. You've been a little shy in the comments with some of your questions, so maybe we'll just get it rolling. And if Lauren, if you're willing to hang out a little bit longer, I keep feeling it would be helpful to talk a little bit more in depth about some social media marketing. And I know you have some great insights there. So actually it's perfect if you want to keep playing here. Um, Yeah, Jeff, earlier, Lauren was saying that she's in Pennsylvania in the US. So that's where she's joining us from. So as far as social media and building, one thing in your story, I'm realizing I'm hopping back in our interview because you're right here, but we'll just chat right now. One thing in your story that I loved is you weren't just depending on texting, you weren't just depending on social media. Like you have a multi-touch way of connecting with people, which I think is very important and something I see a lot of people struggling with or just not grasping. And so I just wanted to reiterate that, especially, as someone who spends a ton of time in professional marketing and seeing what's working, I still see far too many doTERRA distributors just posting photos of product, even like the doTERRA photos of the product in their Instagram feeds, which will, maybe the best it could do would be that somebody would know, oh, they're involved with doTERRA. And then if they hear about something in doTERRA, then they might contact you. But still, it's just, there's nothing about that person in those feeds usually. And it feels very salesy. And so just wanting to really reiterate these points because I think a lot of people are just baffled by social media and they think that it's something they're going to have to really spend a lot of time on and figure out. And there are more advanced strategies. It depends on what platform you're on. But for basics of especially Facebook and Instagram, which are two of the most approachable places, it is really just like having a personal account that's you sharing your life experience, your values, what you believe, your stories, your experiences, things you love. I think that often is one of my favorite directions to point people of like, how do I talk about the oils or the business? Well, is it something you love? Is it one of your favorite things? Like share your favorite things in your social media, right? And that might include all these good doTERRA products, but it also might include your favorite, candy bar or candy bar meaning this is a very health conscious crowd that I'm talking to, but your favorite treat, right? So
Yeah. I would also just add, it used to be a thing, I feel like, where people would even just put their face and like their product, like don't do that. Usually when I'm sharing about doTERRA, I'm sharing a personal story to myself, or like a customer story. I will even just like do a picture of my face that they can see that, and I don't share my customer's face or anything, but they can see I'm on the computer having a one-on-one call with somebody, or when I beat my boys in basketball and it's because I'm feeling so well that I'm even able to play with him, I'll take a picture of me and my son holding a basketball. And that draws people in, like your daily experience, your personal stories. And then in this, typing part is where I share what's made a difference for me. So yeah, it's not that you never want to share your products, but like when I do my stories, I'm showing them that I'm taking my foundational wellness. So they're seeing the product there, but then I'm drinking it and just a picture, definitely like a picture of just the product is not going to probably draw people in. Even a picture of you holding it, it's like automatically a guard goes up because they know that you're trying to sell something. Whereas if you're telling your story, you're a picture of your face, your life, they are understanding that this is a victory you've had in your life, that you're sharing your personal heart with them. It's a much different feeling.
Also, as far as brand strategy, like right now in this moment, your face is like your brand, your logo. Like that's what keeps you top of mind is the more people are seeing your face. So the more if you're just posting doTERRA product photos, you're just doing marketing for doTERRA corporate, not even for your own doTERRA business usually. So I love how you're sharing like that because I think that's, if you're really wanting to help somebody, I don't know. I feel like it's the same as sharing your favorite treat or like, we just love this restaurant even like you're not you're showing like yourself and your loved one enjoying the restaurant, right? And like having a great night out. It's like we have to get in that kind of mindset of like just living my best life and these cool tools help me do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we've got some fun comments. Kimberly is asking, what's your strategy to follow up with those who have enrolled with the product?
Yeah, so I have what's called project broadcasts because I do have quite a lot of customers. And I actually set up like it's like a text thread basically. It is personal. You can put their name in there and everything. But a lot of times I'm getting people on foundational wellness. So like I'm checking back. Well, first of all, when they get their package, we do an unpack the box call. We go through everything together to make sure they know how to use everything. And then I tell them on that call, I'm going to follow up in about 10 days, see how your body's responding, see what questions you have. But in the meantime, don't hesitate to contact me if you have something sooner than that. But then after that unpack the box call, I'm setting them up in my text thread that it will automatically send in 10 days. This is another thing that helps me as a homeschool mom because I only have so much brain space and time. But it'll automatically send like, hey, Sarah, how's it going today? Just checking in to see how your body's responding. What questions do you have? What more can I help with, kind of thing. And then even at the like 30-day mark, I just encourage them that healing takes time. It's not a band-aid fix. And then I'll ask, like, are you noticing any benefits at this point? It's totally okay if not, because again, internal healing takes time, but just curious if you've noticed any, small improvements. Um, and then I'll do the same kind of at the 60-day mark. I always tell my customers in the beginning of it to give it a full 90-day try because that's the life cycle of the cell. And so in 90 days, you'll have all new, healthier cells. Um, and so it just takes time. But I encourage them too that I even saw deeper impacts after that 90-day mark. So they have that expectation going into it. And then I'm just checking in the meantime.
So many good insights there. Our next question is Nicole. She's saying she would love to have a self-directed class on her Instagram account, something small that would let people learn more of the basics of oils and supplements. Any suggestions? I know I have thoughts about this, but I'd love to hear yours as well.
I might let you take that one because I would say my main following is Facebook. So
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Side note, I feel like Facebook has made a little bit of a comeback over the past year,
Mm.
and there's really good engagement happening, whereas Instagram's algorithm has gotten a little bit messy
Okay.
again. And
Interesting.
so, like, not that there's bad in either way, but if you've already got an established Facebook network, it's a good
Mhm.
moment to be on Facebook and
Mm.
growing that
Yeah.
and nurturing. As far as a self-directed class on your Instagram account, this is where I have a lot of thoughts because I think that the dream is to just, have somebody see your post. Like, let's take Lauren's post. Oh my gosh, they were just at the basketball game and she's talking about how her son's back was, taken care of with using the products and Symphony of Cells and all these things. And then in our minds, and we're kind of thinking this through, we're like, and then they'll go to my Instagram feed
Mm.
highlights or something and they'll see more information about like the oils or they could watch a little quick online class. I just think that when we assume that will take them to enrollment, that we're mistaken, right? As much as people want to be self-guided buyers, because that's a real thing right now, in that even like in car salesmen are really just showing up in their closing right now. They're not educating as much as they used to or needing to help people try on a ton of cars because usually somebody's showing up to the lot already with a decision. And they're just wanting some final support with that. Same thing can happen online if people can be doing a lot of online research and looking into things. But I just really think if you're going to try a class with your social media or even like a mini class, just make sure it feels like a intro or let's answer your top questions. And then like make sure you have a call to action right away with all of it. That's like, let's personalize this to you. Let's help you get your health concerns resolved or bring your questions to me. Like you've just somehow got to close that gap as quickly as possible from their interest to connecting in real life with you, whether that's starting to message you in your DMs or starting to, hop on a one-on-one call with you, or even meeting in person or coming to one of your classes, you still just can't beat the retention that you can get when you can connect to someone in real life. I was recently talking to some, just top leaders in doTERRA who were asking me some questions about how to get better retention off of their Facebook ads that they've been putting out that are bringing people in. And I was bringing them back to this same kind of concept as well, because while they're finding that they can enroll people through putting out ads on Instagram and Facebook, the retention is garbage. So people will buy and enroll once and they won't stay with you. And you can even like chase them down and try to follow up with them and email them or text them after, and they just won't respond. And so you just want to be really careful with anything you set up online, that you want to connect it to a real in-person connection with you as quickly as possible. And this is going back to what we've been talking about with what Lauren's been sharing as well. The more that they're connected to you as a person, like if your Instagram account is like what Lauren is sharing, which I would argue are best practices with how to do this, of sharing your life and the way that she's described how she talks about oils, like that kind of a strategy is going to make it more likely that if you have somebody that is looking around on your feed and wants to learn a little bit more, that they're more connected to you as a person, that they'd probably be more likely to reach out and want to get in touch with you and get their questions answered. So yeah, as long as you're keeping that paramount in your mind of how to set this up, I would say I would do it in your highlights on Instagram first, like that you maybe just have a little like about oils or FAQ or something like that. I've even seen, I'm an artist, so I follow a lot of other artists. They have, my favorite tools that they use. Like it could absolutely work like that in your Instagram feed too, of my favorite things is a highlight. And then you just have slides that are very clear. Sorry, slides meaning stories, that you are being like, you're answering a question on each one of those stories that's saved, so that somebody could quickly glance and see like, oh, this is how I could use oils. This is how I could get access to them. This is how I could get support, which would probably be some of the top questions. So that's where I'd go. That's probably a much deeper conversation than we have time for, but I hope that gets you going and in the right mindset, because at the end of the day, any of the online tools that we create to support us in growing our doTERRA businesses, it should still just lead back to somebody feeling closer to you and more connected to you as a real person.
Mhm.
You're never going to have that kind of retention without that. So
Mhm.
keep that in mind. Anything you'd add to that? Because I'm sure that got ideas going to you, Lauren, and no worries if not.
Yeah, no, I think that's very true. Is you need the connection is what probably could be missing. Also, like if I would try and get them on some kind of like one-on-one Zoom call to help them unpack the box and then follow up with them personally, even maybe outside of social media afterwards, so that there's, other connections other than just social media.
Love that so much. Karina's asking if you got certified in Symphony of the Cells.
No, I didn't. Unfortunately, I couldn't make the class. So I was at the conference this past summer, but I forget. I think I was speaking at something. It was like a meeting with the Goddards that that I was committed to. So next time.
Nice. I love it. Well, this has been awesome. Lauren, thank you again for
Yeah.
for being here. Just in closing, want to remind you all of a couple of really helpful things when we're talking about these experiential moments being what really helps people stay and want to grow a business with you or want to use the products. There's some really cool experiential things happening right now, namely the Natural Solutions Unplugged events that Essential Life is doing. I'll drop that link in the chat. I'm telling you guys, I got my enthusiasm back in a major way after, I've built this for over 10 years, but these events are profound, where they're bringing in healthcare professionals, doctors, nurses, and average people who have been using the oils for a long time to share real stories of what's working. And oh my gosh, Amy's going tomorrow in Georgia. I'm so excited, Amy. You'll have to let us know how that goes. But these events are powerful. So if you can go and if you can bring people, they're amazing. Also, every single month, if you haven't seen this, Natalie and Andy host Experience doTERRA weekends every month in Utah. And time and again on this show, even, I've been hearing how somebody invited somebody that was kind of curious about the business, and they came down to Experience doTERRA. They even flew them down, and that person decided to build doTERRA. And we've had, I think it was at least one or two in the past couple weeks, that they actually rank advanced really, really quickly after they went to one of those Experience doTERRA weekends. So I'm going to post the link to that also in the chat, because I just think these are two resources that you've just got to know. And the next one is happening third week in March, so after leadership is over. So anyways, please take advantage of all that goodness. In the meantime, know that if you're not already following the doTERRA Business Success Podcast in your podcast apps, it's there and it's awesome. It's such a great inspiration. And then if you are on Instagram, Share Oil Success will share little inspirational clips from these episodes that you can then share with your teams or share with other people who might need this. I know there are going to be a lot of nuggets from everything that Lauren has shared today that are going to go out on that feed as well. So take a look at that, and gosh, and cheering you all on and going out and making a difference this week with your oils and with doTERRA, and just wish you all the best. Thank you for being here.